Welcome back to Ask the Good Doctor. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire on Sirius XM Urban View, Channel 126, where talk empowers and becomes action. And we are back. Yes, the consortium is back. All of my academicians today, we are here and having this conversation about racism in America. And we're having to endure three pandemics, and they are, of course, COVID and mental health, and now it's racism as well. So joining us now is Tolvi. Hello, Tolvi. He's out of
Hi, how are
Indianapolis.
you? How are you? How are
Well,
you?
well. So our esteemed panel is here, still here. Dr. Shantella, Dr. Jonathan Matthias Lassiter, and we have been. You were heard the conversation, Tolvi. But what I want to ask you is to share with us about a time you experienced racial injustice.
So, um, racial injustice. I'm a black man. I'm an educated black man. My mama wasn't playing that. We there are five of us. I have two older brothers and two younger sisters, and so education was the pipeline for us. Coming from a broken home, my mother had to raise us, and so growing up in coming from suburbia, because I'm originally from Philadelphia, and then moving to Indianapolis, where I currently stay now, you go from pristine, safe, dimensional, multicultural community to the hood. We hung out in the hood in Philadelphia. That's where the fun was. But the injustice, I never experienced racism in Philadelphia as a kid. It didn't happen until I came here. I knew about it. My father made sure that we knew what terms were supposed to offend you, what terms were supposed to upset you. And so the first time that it happened, I was in middle school. I had a kid in my class who he had some disease that if he breathed, it would kill him. And so his mom didn't want to take him from coming to school. So he was being bullied one day, and I said something, and the white kid, he literally was like, "Shut up, nigga." And I said,
What?
"Yeah, I can't eat lunch. No, no." And so for the rest of the day, like, when you're a kid, you walk around like this all day. And we got to the middle of the auditorium area where lunch was, and I blacked out. Like, I tried to ruin him. And I remember my dad came in. When they broke us up, the police officer grabbed me and slammed me on my face on a table. And they grabbed him and politely picked him up to handcuff me. My father came in and he saw my face, which was completely swollen, and he flipped out. Um, my mom was more so like, did you have to fight? My dad was like, we're not even going there. They know what and how they're not supposed to respond to things and how they're not supposed to be talked to. And he was disrespected. And so, yeah, I can take him being a fighter because he stood up for what we told him not to take. As I grew up and started going to college and getting educated, you run into this sphere of, I didn't realize it until my junior year of college that I had to be better than everybody else 27,000 times to get the entry level position or the internship or to get the credibility. And I'm not a thug. I mean, I tried it. I tried to sag my pants. I tried to be hood. It just didn't take for me. I tried it all. If you walk around with your pants like this, I'm like, that's uncomfortable. My grandma's a Southern woman, so she didn't play that. So for me, it began to show up, and I think it was alarming and traumatizing as a kid to see how people who looked like me, who were older, were being treated by authorities, arrested in front of their kids, beat up. This ain't no new phenomenon. We just now have images of it. And so as a kid, I saw it all the time, being in Indianapolis, and getting arrested. I've been pulled over, legal, and I was in a whole suit on my face, me and my best friend, in the dead of winter, because a police officer thought that we were doing something illegal, and I'm on my way to a job with at a law firm.
This is what one researcher calls that the life and death effects of racism in the United States go far beyond police shootings.
Mm-hmm.
And he found that while racism harms many groups of people, it's the Black men who are paying the highest cost. And based on these two stories that you've just told us, you are experiencing this. You
Mhm.
are experiencing this front and center that Black men are indeed paying the highest cost. Do you feel like you have a target on your back as a Black man in America today?
Yes, and easily. It's there because, like, I'll give an example. I was a part of at my former position, I was on the district equity team for the school system. And we had something called infinity groups where you got together with your people and you talked about whatever you wanted to talk about in grand context. The rule was once you can't take this nowhere else. Prior to that, we were sitting in a group of multicultural people. And I said, what's asininely disrespectful to me as a Black man is for you to try to minimize my experience to legitimize your lack of understanding.
Oh,
Very
yes.
irritating to me. And so, oh, it's not that bad. You don't even live in the community where you teach. And so,
Right.
how can you tell me that something's not that bad? And I think that as a Black man, I get up and I carry the weight. And I'm saying that because one of the Black women that was with us was like, I don't represent all my people. And that was alarming to me.
Mm.
Yes.
That you would even make a decision to not consciously say I don't represent. Everywhere I go, what I'm doing, the conversation we're having right now, I'm aware that I speak for us, period. And so the target on my back
Yes.
comes with a mounted pressure that if I do something, myself and Dr. Mathis are now both in the same pot. Myself and Dr. Sherman are in the same pot. Myself and you are in the same pot because of something that I did. White people don't have to deal with that. If Jimmy robbed the store or shot up the school, it was Jimmy, not his people. But if Tolvi robbed the store and shot up the school, then it's me and everybody connected to me. We're all bad. And so that pressure is one thing, but then the snives and the looks, like, I can go somewhere and be cleaner than the Board of Health, and I'm still not good enough. And you
Didn't
add that.
listen, didn't your mother say when you left home, don't shame the family, don't shame the race?
Yep.
Okay. That was something they used to tell us. Don't shame the family, don't shame the
Mhm.
race, because you represent all of us.
All of
And
us.
so get out there and do your absolute best. Like you say, 26,000 times better than everyone else, because you
Yep.
must.
Mhm.
It's just what we do. We must do. Dr. Jonathan, do you feel like you have a target as a Black man in America today?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I'm often in predominantly white spaces as a clinical
Mhm.
psychologist and a professor. So I'm with you, Toby. Like, I know that I represent not just myself, but my family and all Black people. And so, but one of the things that I would say that I've been trying to do in my personal life is put down that burden sometime as much as possible, because it gets heavy. That's a heavy burden to bear. And so I ask myself, are there times where, even if it's just me alone in my office by myself, are there times where I can put that down and just be Jonathan?
Mhm.
Sometimes the answer is no, but I'm looking for those ways to drop that burden when I can, because it can become a burden. But sometimes, though, it feels good to be in the room with all my people. So it can
Yes,
also
doesn't it?
also a strength.
Doc Shan, what can we do to help one another through these times as we endure these challenges racially?
Be as supportive as possible. And I think that, again, a lot of times I speak about the fact that long before you ever make it outside of your house, you are being taught what is that you believe about yourself and what you
Mhm.
Mm,
believe about others. And so in my research, what I find is that the first person that called you ugly nigga or black this or yellow that was somebody in your family or someone in your household. Now, it's
mm,
my understanding that years ago you did this. Sometimes families would do this to toughen you up because they understood that when you walk out that door, you don't have time for tears.
come
Okay.
on.
You need to let the
Oh,
words bounce off. But the reality is that those first tears that you felt and that you still hold on to came from family members. All right. Your nose is too big. This is not right. And what I find is that now sometimes we can't get to a point where we're loving each other and being the backbone and the strength for others, because we're still carrying on that pain right there. So I can't say, and when I see you, Dr. Joyce, baby, you're looking lovely, Dr. Lassiter, I'm loving your hair. I like that, whatever it is, Dr. Patterson over here, get in there, knock it out. We're not being supportive. And we used to know that when you saw another Black person, you automatically speak and extend to them their personhood.
Yes.
I've been the only
Forever.
right. I've been the only Black person in spaces sometimes, and I would come across another Black person, and I'm trying to make eye contact, and they would look down like, I cannot allow people around us to think we're together or that we
Oh,
know
wow.
each other.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of heartbroken about that, but I understood it. And so
Yeah.
we have to always be in a space where we're validating each other's humanity and personhood, because white people will tell you in a heartbeat, I don't see you until I think you're a problem. Okay. And
We
I
know
always say I'm a big Black woman. So if you're not seeing me, it's because you got your eyes closed. All right? You trying
We're
not
gonna
to see me.
we're gonna have to have part 2 of this. We are out of time, unfortunately. Listen, I want to thank all of you for being here, and we're gonna post your information we post about the show. I'd like to thank my team: Irvin Wright, supervising producer; Chris Green, associate producer; and Alexa. That does it for me. To let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, good food fast, and go easy on the greasy. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.